quite a good lesson on who we are and what we're all about. In the reading from the prophet Isaiah, he talks about the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Upon those who dwelt in the land of gloom, a light has shone. And I think as we look at our congregation, we fit that description. That when we gather, the light shines upon us. And we bring to our community worship, we bring to our liturgy that welcoming light into our midst. And that's a great thing in doing something like that. And Paul's reading in the Gospel from Matthew also provide us with an interesting direction, because Jesus is starting a whole new approach. The way we used to worship, those laws that existed simply as laws, that's no longer the way. The new way is the good news. And if we are to be the people of the light and to continue to be the people of the light, so it falls upon us as Christians to spread the good news. And how do we spread the good news? Well, there are many ways of doing it, many of which we already do. For example, our success with our Advent program, the Advent conspiracy. That's a way of spreading the good news. It created much discussion within the Coburg community as a whole. What were we up to? What were we doing? And so, as people found out more and more about it, and certainly at the ministerial I was asked quite a bit about it, other churches are interested in looking at that model and following it. That's bringing light. That's spreading the good news. And Jesus is pretty clear to his apostles as he goes along that celebrating the Sabbath is going to be different. That the liturgy that's going to be used to celebrate the Word is going to be different. And we know from St. Paul that all of the Christian communities that sprung up began to adapt a liturgy to suit the needs of their community. And it's interesting within our community. And if you have a chance to talk to people who come and visit with us, and many of you have approached me yourselves and said to me how wonderful, how fulfilling our liturgy is to us. Because what we have done as children of the light is we've taken that challenge of our liturgy and let it be part of defining who we are and who we are, what we are all about. And that's a good thing, because when those people visit with us, and when we as a group sit down or gather together on Sunday to worship, our liturgy helps define who we are. We're going forward. We're adapting to what we are all about. And that was a great challenge that Jesus faced wherever he went, because he was questioned, why aren't you doing it the old way? They've always done it this way, why aren't you doing it that way? Well, one size does not fit all. And so too it is with us. We are moving forward. Peter said last Sunday, we don't know where we're going to be in 10 years from now. But as long as we keep walking in further and further into the light, then as things unfold and we meet those new challenges, and as we evolve further as a community, we become like these followers of Jesus. We leave aside the old ways and we move forward. And that's what Jesus wants. That's what he's asking us to do. We use in our liturgy the phrase, dangerous unselfishness. And that's a part of what we are as well. We're meeting those challenges of dangerous unselfishness. But we know that if we were to accept what for many of us was the old way, then we wouldn't be stepping out to do these things, to bring light to our community. And people are wanting to find out more of what we're all about. And that's really good. That's a strength that we at Christ the Servant have. We bring that word. We preach the good news through our actions and through our service here on Sundays. But we need to keep doing that. We need to keep moving forward. I think I mentioned this before. Once you find out Jesus' message, there's no turning back. We need to keep that force going. Keep that light shining. And as long as we can keep doing that, then we are going forward. And as I said, the beauty of it is we don't know. There's insecurity. But those are great challenges. That insecurity allows us to express ourselves. We had some time at our ministerial this week, and we sat around discussing these readings particularly because it's the conclusion of Week of Prayer for Christian Unity, and we have our service this afternoon, 4 o'clock at St. Peter's. And we adapted the service. Well, actually, they asked me to adapt the service because the new guy in the block always gets stuck with the bigger job, right? And that was fine. To meet our community's needs, and not just the Christ the Servant faith community, but the faith community members of the ministerial. And so that's what we did. We sat around and talked about, when we talked about what's the role of a pastor in all of this as we move forward. And it's an interesting role. And the model we have here within our churches is pretty good. I think some of my colleagues are a little envious. Number one, I don't have to worry about money. That's the board's job. They can look after the finances. And when I come up with ideas that I'd like to have us involved in, I have a great committee that I can bring the ideas to. And the Advent Conspiracy that we worked on, a lot of the committee members came forth with ideas and suggestions. And that's great, because we're not going to stick with the status quo. We're going to meet new challenges. And that's wonderful. That's what a faith community is all about. It's growing, not just in numbers, but it's growing in the spirit.